Coming up on the season finale of season 0.5 for the Park It On podcast, we do our season recaps, we dive into a little bit of fan mail, we chat about our off-season plans, and we send you off with one final Schuey's Wisdom. It's time to Park It On! Welcome to the finale of season 0.5 of the Park It On podcast, the only lawn bowls podcast that reckons that you're pretty alright. My name's Riley, I'm a Div 5 bowler, and joining me, as always, is the well hard, the face card, the slightly charred, the Port Adelaide diehard, Jimmy!
Yeah, you had to shoo it in somewhere, didn't you?
It did have to go in at some point, yes.
Yeah, look, I'm glad that round one is this weekend.
Honestly, I put that in there because it rhymed with card. I completely forgot about the game.
For posterity, Port Adelaide went down by 91 to Collingwood this week. I'm a little sad.
I wish we had our cameras on for this because you would have seen my face fucking drop as I realised. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm so sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. But you know what isn't going down by 91 on the weekend? The bowls.
The bowls, that's exactly right. Yes, we had a little bit of bowling action. Obviously, the pennant season's over, but we did have one final match for the Terry Termites, which we'll dive into very, very shortly. But we had a bit of finals gear going on, so some around the grounds bowling happening, and yeah, it was a pretty good weekend of finals action. There was a bit of sad news. So for people that are not familiar with who I am, basically, I played out at the Underdale Bowls Club for a very long time before I started playing pennants, and I'm talking like nappies, right? I was a very little boy, and when Underdale started to finish up, they went into the Torrensville Bowls Club. So Torrensville are currently moving their club rooms because of the South Road redevelopment. It's a very Adelaide sentence, but anyway.
Yeah, the T to D.
There is a life member there named Norm Lockwood. Stormin Norman, as he's known. The big Norma Jean. He wasn't called either of those, but he's a fucking cool guy. Anyway, I've known Norm literally my entire life. Fucking superstar of the club. Did as much as he could possibly be able or allowed to. Real, superstar of a man. He's also in his 90s. He was 93. And he did, unfortunately, pass away during the finals on Saturday. In uniform, doing the thing he loved, surrounded by his mates. And, I just wanted to really raise a can of Passiona, can of Pasito even, is his favourite soft drink, to the good man, because he was a fucking legend, and without people like him, bowls clubs just wouldn't exist. So, yeah, you're in my thoughts, old Norma, and yeah, we love you. And through to the finals, actually, Torrensville, they're playing for a flag, so here's hoping they do one for in Normie's honour, eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What a fucking champ he was. Fucking is. Yeah. They're playing at Lockleys on Saturday against Croydon. So power to them. And yeah, all the best in the finals to the old Warriors. I did play a season with them. Cool people. A lot of old Undale types still out that way. Yeah. A lot of love in my heart for those people. And especially since the last time they saw me, they were playing out at Grange while I was playing in a different div. And they came up to me and said, you're playing at the wrong club, you know? You gotta come back with your mates. And I'm like, I love you guys very much. But I play where my dad plays, basically. So, yes. Even though the old fella, he listens to this pod, so I am going to cop shit for this. But the old fella just keeps inventing reasons not to play pennants. He's done it the last 2 seasons. I reckon he's just trying to get out of it. Bit of dramatic gear, you know? But yes. Vale, Normie, love you to bits, mate. Go well. Park some on in the sky, eh? Alrighty. So, Jimster, we played a little bit of lawn bowls on Thursday.
We did, a little bit. It was a long game.
It was a bloody long game. We played a 15-ender at Night Owls. It was unreal.
Yeah, it was a good time. Not a good result. Did you want me to explain what we did?
I mean, considering my notes say, who cares lol, we lost by lots to not very much. I would love you to give me a little bit more info.
So, the who cares lol still does apply to me. I don't remember what the team name was. They're a bunch of nice people. Their skip had done like 50 Ironmans. No, it wasn't 50. It was like maybe 8 or 9. But they all seemed to know each other through swimming because they were all wearing like this swim club t-shirt.
Yeah, they were like master swimmers or something.
I also don't have the score. I didn't write it down because by the end I was just like, fucking get me out of here.
Yeah.
What we did, it was actually quite a lot of fun, and the other team sort of vibed with it, which was my first thing. So to set the scene, we rocked up with 2 extra players. And so we were like, we're not playing 2 games. We can't rotate them through. Do we sub them out to other teams? But then I personally got a little bit shitty with that because I didn't want to do that because I wanted to play with my team because I hadn't been there the week before. But that's neither here nor there. And so what we came up with, and we asked the other team, and they were like, that's all good, was every 2 ends, we'd sub someone in, and then sub as lead, we'd sub them in as lead, and then the skip would sub out, and then we'd just move down through like that way. Because we weren't playing for sheep stations, we were like the 13th versus 14th seed. No one really gave a shit. So, yeah, we played it through like that, and I think one person just didn't play 2 ends or something like that. It was, like, mathematically, it didn't give a shit because we were just all there to have fun.
Yeah. From my memory, it was less us asking if it was okay and more just going, hey, by the way, we're just going to rotate players through.
Yeah.
Fucking deal with it. Yeah. No, they were super cool people. I think they cared very much about trying to win because for a significant portion of that game, a couple of their players were not frosty, but they were certainly trying a lot harder than everybody else on the green was.
Yeah.
Which I found very, very funny.
And there were like 3 ends that they brought out a measure, like in a row. And I was like, really?
I mean, like, if you really want the wine that badly, support the sponsors and go buy one. It's not that fucking deep. It's Night Owl's Lawn Bowls. Relax. And the thing that I found very funny though, Jimmy, they didn't even win the fucking wine.
They didn't. I think they came second.
They came second, yeah. I was like, for all the tryharding that was going on, and to be clear, if you are playing a competitive game and you would like to try to win, that's completely fine. Just understand that in that circumstance, while we were playing technically a competitive game, not a single person on that green gave it a skerrick of a shit where we came or what the score was. Like, it did not fucking matter.
I think the score was, it was like 24-4 or something like that in the end.
Yeah. Which is unreal because they still lost the wine with that sort of a scoreline.
Yeah, I think the winner of the wine had like 26 shots or something like that. It was crazy.
It was something unreal. Yeah, it was a really good, like, it was a good time with good people. Don't get me wrong. It was very funny to see people in our sort of bracket trying as hard as they were and then still not getting rewarded for it. I found that very gratifying. But yes, Jibster, we were talking amongst the boys. I think we mentioned this on the pod. I forget. But there's a Joker prize at the raffle table at the old Grange Night Owls of a garden hose. And we were discussing, it was literally the fucking photo of last week's episode. So, of course, we're like, what do you do if you win more than one hose? So we got a Terry's 2-hose connector, and we put it on the prize table, and the first ticket came up. They took the fucking hose. Assholes. Second ticket came up, took the scotch. Third ticket came up, they took the beer. Fourth ticket came up, they took the chocolates. And then the 5th ticket came up, and it was my fucking number. And there was only one prize on that table that I was ever going to take. So I would like to proudly announce, exclusive to the Parkiton podcast audience, that I am the now proud owner again of a Terry 2-hose connector. It is hanging pride of place in my room. I'm very happy about it.
How good. If we end up getting a set, that'll be in the background of the set.
Hell yeah, dude. Good night was had by all. Really well run season. Anya, Guy, and Dicko, and Mads and Chez behind the bar, and everyone that helped out with the food. Fucking superstars. volunteer is the lifeblood of community sport, and without people volunteering their time and just doing something, even if it's for 10 minutes, things like this could never happen. So all of us benefit from the hard work of a few, and it's really fucking awesome to see. So yeah, massive shout outs to those guys. And yeah, Jimster, I think it's time for a bit of a season recap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beauty. So, Jimster, the Terry Termites started this lawn bowl season with one goal in mind, and that was to have fun. Through the trials and tribulations of multiple weeks, a certain player that really shit me personally off, and teams trying anything and everything to get a leg up in fucking Night Owls. Ha! We finished roughly 5th from the bottom. I have in brackets here, I am making this number up because I have no fucking idea, but it was somewhere around there.
They didn't post the scoreboard.
Yeah, they didn't post the final scoreboards, but I reckon we're above like the horse racing team and a couple of the footy boys, and then like a couple of the people that only played like 3 or 4 games. So I reckon it's about 5th or 6th from the bottom. Result doesn't fucking matter. We weren't playing for sheep stations, nor did we really fucking care. But Jimster, I reckon that not only did we have a lot of fun throughout this season, but it personally made me a much better bowler. I think a lot of the gains that I've had throughout the pennant season in particular are directly responsible. Night Owls is directly responsible for, getting to go out and just have fun with my mates. Unreal gear, very, very valuable. I am so, so grateful for that. So a big thank you to everybody that played on the Terry Termites. I don't know if they want to say in their names on here. Fucking massive shout out to all of them. Superstars. We got some practice in, we learned some skills, and we gave some teams that were much better than us a real run for their money. We also managed to get so many players that we had to implement a rotation policy, which is just unreal good vibes. And because of those good vibes, we do have that excess of players, which means potentially we may be in the position to submit not just the Terry Termites, but the Terry Two-mites, or even whatever the fucking mascots you guys were talking about at the table last Thursday.
Yeah.
Don't remember.
I think we came up with tapirs, obviously like normal ones, but I think tapirs was my favourite.
Terry Tapirs does go hard. I'm quite a fan of that.
Because I think it's in the similar vein as termites where, you're not really thinking about termites as sort of an aggressive sporting mascot, and I think there's the same idea with tapirs where they're just like a little guy.
Yeah, we're just a little fella. We're just hanging out.
Yeah, look, I'll echo the sentiment there. I had an absolute blast this season, joining the Termites for the inaugural season. I think myself and a bunch of the guys on the team have improved leaps and bounds from essentially not picking up a lawn bowl. And I am officially excited to state that I'll be joining Pennants next season with Riley.
Yes.
Where I'm placed is up to the selectors now. But I'm excited to roll some bowls down on a Saturday, whilst also playing Night Owls on a Thursday when possible. Some highlights for me this season was going up toe-to-toe with some of the best teams. Unfortunately, I wasn't there when we went down by 1 against the second from the top, I think it was.
The stretchers.
It was
so
the
it's
stretchers.
Like the top guys.
It was the stretch. Okay, yeah, going 1 down to the stretchers, unbelievable. Unfortunately, I wasn't in attendance. But I did look through the Discord, and the first documented win was against Pandas, and it was a 9-4, and I remember being fucking stoked. That was the first one that I was part of. You were up at the Riverland, I believe, Riley. I think we'd won a couple of weeks ago.
We definitely won before that, but I don't remember who it was against.
I think it was against the tradies, and you like a lot of the guys were like they were just that drunk that it didn't really feel like a win.
This is true.
Yeah.
I remember our first win being a bit like hey, going like we'll take the win absolutely, but it wasn't like a fuck yeah, we did a really good job.
Yeah. Funnily enough, that same night, we then capped it off with a 17-0 loss.
Yes.
But
that I do remember very vividly.
But then, 9-4 for the first documented win against Pandas was good time. It really did feel good in the later half of the season to have days where we went 2 up over the end of the night, considering it felt like a pipe dream to even go 1 up at the start of the season. So, yeah. I'll go
Yeah.
I'll go footy mode here. You know, full credit to the boys and the one girl. But yeah, like we left it all out there. Really, couldn't be happier.
Yeah. But there was that one night where we came within a shot or two of winning the fucking wine, which was unreal gear. And the fact that we did that with a score that would have won in other weeks, it just wasn't that particular week, was really fantastic.
And that same night, we scored our first 8.
Yes, we did get an 8. That's true. It's the only 8 I've had that's been regulation, actually. I've gotten 8s in practice matches, but never in a match that's been, for want of a better term, sanctioned. Like, I've never gotten a penance 8, but I got an 8 in night hours. It was fucking really cool.
How good. All right, well, I'm going to leave this up to you now. Here's the season recap of the Div 5 pennants from Riley.
Yeah. Div 5 was a bloody tough division to play all year round. It's sort of the perfect maelstrom of clubs that are on the rise and some clubs that are potentially on the lower, that are all coming together and making this really cool really cool collection of teams that are a bunch of unique individuals. They won't always get it right. Fuck. Look, Div 5's a very hard place to be in lawn bowls. It's not down to Div 7 where you have, you know, teams that just sort of run out of players sometimes. And it's not Prems where you have to be on the ball every single time, otherwise you are not measuring up. It's in that weird middle part where you're not quite good enough to be super aspirational and, you know, pushing to be, I must be in Premier League, but it's not quite at the, hey, we're just here to fuck around and have fun. So it's a really weird, fun, competitive mix. It's a lot of fun playing the season. In Div 5 West, particularly where Grange were playing, there were some teams that were just parking it on all year and making it very, very difficult for everyone else. You know, in particular, I'm talking about Westlakes, Nova Gardens, Somerton, and Woodville. In terms of the head-to-head with those teams for Grange, it's 1-1 against Westlakes and 0-2 to everyone else, which makes our middle of the table finish pretty solid, pretty deserved. We had some healthy win-loss rates against pretty much every other team. So we were like pretty much better than everyone below us, and we could take it to the people above us if we were on our day, but we weren't often on our day in Div 5 this season. It's a great foundation to build from, and I think provided that Grange picks up a couple of players in the transfer window, a handful of people that come to really just play and park some bowls on, I think it is very feasible that the Div 5 team wins a pennant next season. Like, it is, they're all around it. They're not quite there, but they're very, very close. And I think with the right sort of results started tumbling their way, I think this is a group of people that could really galvanize and take it all the way to a flag. That I genuinely believe that. Fucking superstars. Looking more inwardly, I personally feel like I took a massive step forward in my game this season, ultimately getting rewarded with that chance in the Premier League. The grand final of Div 5 West this weekend is being played at Brighton. It's going to be Westlakes vs Woodville, which is a massive result for both clubs and well-deserved. Nova Gardens, unfortunately, I'm not super sure what's happened for them, but they did fall away somewhat in this final last bit of the season. They had a bit of an easy beat against us in the last week, and then went down by 29 in the qualifying final to Old Westlakes, and then they lost by 7 to Woodville in the prelim. It's a pretty disappointing end for genuinely the best side of the competition. They deserve to be playing in the grand final. They deserve to be winning a flag, but sometimes that just doesn't happen in competitive sport, and that's okay. I personally would like to see them get promoted because there were certainly sections of this year where you would look at Nova's results versus everyone else's, and you would play against them, and you're like, why the fuck are they in this division? Genuinely, why the fuck are they in this division? They're too good. They need to go back up to Div 4 and like just go do their thing. But I don't remember the exact promotion relegation guidelines, but I think unless Westlakes and Woodville both have 2 teams in the next division up, they will get promoted over Nova if there are relevant and appropriate like promotion relegation targets. Yes, it's disappointing, but honestly, power to Westlakes and Woodville. Like, I love playing against both of those clubs. One of them had really cheap CC and dry. Fucking superstars. Yeah. All the best to the sides playing finals this weekend. Massive, like, not to be biased, but a massive chookers to Torrensville. Bring that fucking flag home, boys. And I'll put some cash over the bar for you, because fucking love those guys. Anyway, so thus concludes season 0.5 of the Park It On podcast. We just got some housekeeping stuff to do, and that's the end of it. We've had a really fucking cool season. Half season, really. It was, yeah. I've had a lot of fun doing a little bit of recapping, a little bit of chatting, and we're going to step into our own, coming up with the new season, with you playing and me playing. So we'll have 2 sets of pennants, and of course the Night Owls will be playing together. We may even play together in pennants. You never know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to everyone that's tuned in. Your presence has really pushed, at least I can speak for me, it's really pushed me to be better. Knowing that I have more than just my parents listening to something is a really big incentive for me to work hard and try to be a better bowler. So yeah, big thank you to everyone that's tuned in, everyone that's sent in emails, including the people that we're about to get to when we answer some fan mail. Yeah. Fucking good on you. And we'll chat about our off-season stuff after that. And then it's Schuey's Wisdom and we're going home.
Yeah, absolutely. I think even just from a pure podcasting perspective, I think even over the last sort of 7-8 episodes, we've definitely gotten a lot better with talking about bowls and just talking about things in general, which leads me to say that there's probably going to be some things that we're going to be vying for in the off season, sending out some emails, sending out some ideas to some people. Hopefully we can get some things, get some balls rolling, no pun intended, on some outside of the podcast stuff for Riley and I. But yeah, it's more of a teaser than a promise at the moment. But yeah, I really want to get some interesting things happening for the podcast and for young people and bowls in general.
Yeah, it's so exciting times are coming up, and we can't wait to share what we have planned with you, both in the short and in the actual showing you what the fuck we're doing, which is very exciting. But yes, Jimster, we got a bit of fan mail through the week.
Yeah.
We got a bit of fan mail after I received a text message that said, the fucking name tag.
Yeah.
We then received an email from Ryan. Fucking shout out to Ryan listening in the week of release. Yeah. Go Ryan.
Good on him.
Much appreciated, big dog. Anyway, Ryan has written us an email to explain the whole name tag thing. For context, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, basically, I got the opportunity to go play in the Premier League for the last week of the season. I got about halfway through the game, and Ryan bails me up and goes, "Don't wear your name tag. We don't do that here. You just don't do it." Anyway, Ryan sent us an email that says this. I didn't realize I forgot to tell you why we don't wear name tags. I don't think the reason will blow your mind, but here it is. In my first Prem game, which was only a trial match, I wore my name tag for the whole game. I just ordered one of those awesome magnetic ones for $12.52, so you don't have to stab it through your shirt. Anyway, Benny told me after the game that we don't wear name tags in Prem 1. In my second match, I've been putting my bowls cloth half in my pocket, half hanging out, again, for the entire match. At the end of that game, Benny told me to either put it completely in my pocket or keep it in my hand, but never halfway in or out of a pocket. Both times, the reason was because the opposition will know you're a fucking noob. Direct quote.
How good.
Fucking Ryan, you're the GOAT. We love you, dude.
Makes sense.
Even more noob tests.
I mean, that's sort of just like a thing when you get to somewhat of a higher level of sport. There's just a bit of, hazing, for lack of a better word, or the idea that we can see that you don't know what you're doing because we've implemented these like unwritten rules that if you don't know, then you don't know type vibe.
Yeah, man. Just the sheer amount of noob tests that I was subjected to over the course of one game was unreal. Like the super noob test. Like I was prepared for the noob test of here is the shortest legal rink. Have a fucking go. I was not prepared for name tags and bowls cloths to be a thing. I'm sure I made countless others. But yes, up the Premier League, up the Lawn Bowls, up the mighty Grange Dolphins, fins up. Jimster, I think it's time we talk a little bit about what we've got coming up for our wonderful, wonderful listeners.
Yeah, so this is going to be our last proper weekly upload. So the next pod will be released on the 3rd of April. I'm actually going away on the 4th, which is fun. But yeah, the 3rd of April. I think going into a lot of this, we'll probably do a lot of bulk records, so we won't have up-to-date information on what's going on in the world of lawn bowls, but we've got a couple of things that we're going to talk about, such as where to start playing lawn bowls, so finding a club, getting your bowls and types of play, your match play and tactics. I think Riley will probably take helm of a lot of that.
How to play good, how to win good.
Exactly.
I read books.
We read Schuey, so
we do read Schuey.
Yeah, bit of development training, including some drills and games, and then some potential interviews. We got some secret stuff happening in the background that we're really excited to show you.
I've been deep in the Instagram trenches with the DMs of a particular person that I am so excited to have a chat to.
Is it the one that I think, or is it someone?
It absolutely is.
Okay, are you still talking to them?
Yeah, man. Well, okay. So this will be a bit of a hint. Basically, I will be in Victoria over the Anzac Day long weekend for a disc golf tournament. Yes, golf with frisbees. And this particular individual lives in Victoria and potentially is going to be free that weekend to have a little bit of a chatterino. So he's hoping we'll have a bit of a chat. We'll see what's going on in their world and in ours, and we'll have something fun to share with you. Hopefully at the end of April, maybe the end of May. We'll see how we go. But yes.
That's so good. I already know who I'm going to slide into the DMs of, and I'm really excited. But
fuck yes.
Yes, I know that the Oz Open will be going on during the quote-unquote off-season. We will probably come back for weeklies around that time just really quickly just to cover that because it's going to be very interesting. Next year, hopefully we can do some coverage when we're there.
Yeah.
Pending, buying flights and all of that. But yeah, this year, sort of looking at YouTube and just watching it with a close eye. But yeah, and then sort of as we get into sign-ups and stuff during that, we can come back to weeklies for season 2.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to it. We'll probably, once the preseason starts really ramping up and we're playing our trial games, we'll have weekly stuff to talk about again. So watch this space. We'll have a fun off-season, packed full of content, and then back properly for season 1, proper season 1 of the Park It On podcast in Octoberish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, Jimster, for the final time of our weekly podcasting for this season, I think it's time for a bit of Schuey's wisdom.
Very good. Now I've got a number here for you, if you are ready.
I am so ready. I was born ready. In fact, I was plopped out onto the floor of the hospital delivery room with this book in my here hands.
Yeah, cool. Don't like that. Anyway. The number for this week is 84.
84. Let's have a look. Alrighty. Okay. Fantastic. So this is talking all about... the chapter is called Fast Track Your Shot Making Ability. And there is a Schuey's top tip. From a tactical viewpoint, the running shot is far more effective than a drive when playing on carpet or similar artificial surfaces. The reason for this is that the bowl can often skip offline upon release and become less effective compared to playing on grass greens, because of the extra speed gained from playing a drive on carpet. As a result, the firm running shot usually produces better results than the drive when playing on artificial surfaces. Also, the jack will more often stay in the ditch if hit with controlled weight, whereas this will rarely happen when a drive hits the jack.
Interesting.
Very good. All right, Jimster. It's been a wonderful half of a season with you. Looking ahead to season 1. But for now, it's time for people to, if they've got some cool gear for us to have a chat about, we'll probably do a collection thing. Obviously, we're getting swamped with emails. We might, at some point through the off-season, do a bit of an emails recap if it's not super urgent. Chuck us an email at parkitonpodcast@gmail.com. And what fine things can they send to us at the email parkitonpodcast@gmail.com, Jimster?
Yeah, so you can send us your CC and dry prices if you are doing a bit of social bowls during the off-season and you patronise a bowls club and find out what their Canadian club's prices are. You can send through your rules question. We had one a couple of episodes ago to do with the jack in the ditch and if a bowl comes and rests upon it. And then you can also just send your fun stories or your stories of how you got yelled at by some old bloke because you're messing about as a kid in the bowls club.
Unreal gear. Well, Jimster, thank you so much for joining me for this half season of the Parkiton podcast.
Likewise.
And we'll see you bright and early for the next recording session that we do. But until then, I think it's a bit of goodbye gear from me.
And a goodbye from myself. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.